Good morning, all. Welcome to the masterclass of Angular signals in real time. Okay, don't worry about these all keywords. First of all, we need to understand what is this Angular does and how do you approach to a problem statement. That is the most important agenda of this masterclass through Angular signals. Definitely, it is a very new feature in Angular relative to the original application development of Angular. But yes, what to be done? Before going to that process, just introduce myself. Let me introduce myself. This is Praveen Gubbala. I worked with top MNCs like Samsung, PayPal. These are the biggest of my career, topmost of my career, especially on development. And after that, of course, AT&T. I'm sorry, that is also there in my kitty. I forgot it. And other than that, the last few years, around 6, 7 years, I'm working with various companies on corporate training, especially. In that, Cognizant, Tech Mahindra, Sintel, Atos, these are all very regular things. Even West Agile, sometimes Capgemini. Okay, these are all very regular one. But the most I have enjoyed is 3DS Dassault, a French company where I had to work with them for almost all 2 weeks. That was the best experience I had. It is one of the big company in especially what do you say, Bofors, Rafael. These are these kind of things. Okay, so that is briefly about me. But more than anything, I am basically a passionate developer with teacher at the heart. So my mind works like a developer, but my heart works like a teacher. So in and out, this is my introduction. This is what I am. So other than that, for the last few years, of course, I am also serving multiple people. In fact, almost all more than 2000 plus students I have trained in the last 1 year. So no, sorry, last 4 years. In fact, after COVID, I was into one-on-one training also. So in this process, I come across lot of people, and especially the problems of these people when they are having the development, how those guys are facing the problems, what problems they are actually feeling. Along with that, even my team, my what do you say, colleagues, all these guys are facing some issues. One of the issue is losing the confidence because everywhere there is an AI. So are we going to lose the job? That is the first problem. Yes, most of the people face. Uh, keep your mic mute. If you have any doubt, please you can unmute yourself and talk to me. మీకు ఏదైనా డౌట్ ఉంటే తప్పకుండా అన్మ్యూట్ చేసుకొని మాట్లాడండి. I can speak Hindi, Telugu, English without any problem. We can discuss it with these three languages. Okay, come on. So yes, with a lot of colleagues as well as so many junior developers, juniors, or so many students, all these people are facing one big problem. One major problem is how do you convert, or how do we understand the problem statement? How do we convert the problem statement into the code? Yes, many people are struggling with the AI. Okay, so struggling, I'm not saying they are happy with AI, because yes, they are giving the answers happy, everyone is happy, they are giving answers, but those answers are not good enough. Those answers have to be tuned, and tuned. So until and unless you are good at what the answer has been given by the AI, cannot be submitted directly. Okay, so is it really going to kill our jobs? Nowhere, not at all. It is not going to be happen. So everyone has to understand what exactly the subject is. Only then you can be master, as well as you can actually, what do you say, command the technology. You need not to depend on the AI. It's not only till today. Even when I started 7 years back online training, there was a person called Raju, it seems, Raju Yamuri, something. So he asked me, Sir, I want command in jQuery. I should not depend on others' plugins. So if I don't get the answer, I was getting frustrated. If you really want to empower by yourself, you have to learn in depth. So that is my word. Okay. Thank you for listening to me. How do I approach the problem? So, whatever it may be, you have to understand one point. How do you approach the problem is the most important thing. Okay. So, that is what today's agenda is. Before going to that, let me tell you what exactly we are doing in Angular, or what is this Angular is all about. Basically, Angular is all about developing single page applications. Sometimes we call it as SPA, single page web applications. In the past, we used to have monolithic applications. What does it mean? Of course, there is something called three-tier architecture, two-tier architecture. This is too much. That means we are going almost all Homo sapien days. First, let me come across this monolithic. There used to be a browser, not used to be. Even today, we have browser, and there is a server, and there is a database. So browser used to ask the server for the UI. So server used to be with lot of JSPs, ASPs, PHPs, some programs, server side programs. So these programs used to get the data from the database, and with that database they prepare the temp. That means already they must be having the templates. These are all actually template files. So these template files generate the HTML, and it will be added with CSS and JS sometimes. So that particular programs, the UI, the HTML pages used to be sent to the browser, so that happily browser used to display it. But because of this approach, monolithic approach, the server is becoming busy, very busy. So if you have 2 crores, that means these many zeros. If you have 2 crores of users per second, the server will be going to be processing almost all 2 crore requests, imagine. So it is quite difficult to get the data and from the database and processing it here. The rendering, the processing will be here, everything for preparing the HTML pages. So this was very difficult. For example, we have a Facebook. Earlier, Facebook was developed on PHP. So Facebook was so busy, so busy with the requests and responses. Now Facebook is over 1.4 billion user accounts are there. More than that, it seems. So these many user accounts are there, and at a time, Facebook or Instagram is being used by crores of people. So if every work is on, if every work is on server side, it will become very busy to get the data, prepare the HTML and send it. But now we change the process. Now we got the approach called single page web application development. So in this, we will be having a server, separate server called front end server. So in this server, we will be developing HTML, CSS, JavaScript templates. So earlier these templates were developed by PHP, JSP, and ASPs. But now these all templates are developed by HTML, CSS, and JavaScript by using either Angular or React or Vue.js or Svelte. So some of these engines are used. So some of these libraries or some of these frameworks are used. eventually they will generate HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So they can run on browser. So the beauty is why we have developed in the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, because they run on browser. So to create the HTML and apply the CSS, now JavaScript is also empowered. It is very powerful now. It generates the UI. So front end server will first of all take the request from the browser, and all the HTML, CSS required for any web page will be first served to the browser. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, in fact, React or Angular. So now the browser is having the complete page. That means if you are using some of the website like Book My Show, so whatever the UI for this particular page, whatever the UI reason necessary for this page, whatever the UI necessary for this particular page, whatever the UI necessary for okay, let me go to this. These are the three UIs just now I show you, right? This is another UI, continue, whatever the UI required for all these things, whatever the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is required, those all things will be directly served to the browser in the very beginning of the time. So sometimes they will be cached in the browser so that you don't need to take much time to load the page. Okay, but this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript can have only template. That means only the box. So I mean to say template, UI templates. So my meaning of UI template means you will be having only the outer boxes. Mm. Mm. Just imagine you will be having these kind of shapes. You don't have actual data in it. Just the outline will be available. So once that is loaded in whatever the JavaScript it is loaded in the front end server, that will again send one more request to backend server. This will send another request to the backend server. In the backend server, we will be having APIs. So these APIs will take the request for data. So that API will respond the browser with the data. So that this JavaScript on the browser, which is already loaded here, this will take this data and it will fill these places. Wherever the spaces are there, they will be filled. So this particular technique actually shifted, try to understand this, actually shifted the load. Here earlier we used to have load here on the server, but now the entire load is on browser. We are already having 8 GB of RAM. So JavaScript can immediately run the engine and it will load all the data wherever it needs to be placed. So this approach improved the whole user experience, and every application is converted into single page applications. Actually, around 9 years back or 10 years back, not 10 years back, probably, maybe 7, 8 years back, everyone was busy with JavaScript, because there it actually started. There it actually started developing single page applications. So the single page applications actually now ruling the world. Even AI, whatever it may be, backend can be Salesforce, backend can be SharePoint, backend can be SAP also. But front end is always there. That means UI should be there either in the Angular or React. So this way, this single page application development became so popular and everyone started learning Angular or React. So now in the last video, I just explained in the last demo session, I gave the examples and all in React. Okay, those people who are interested in React, please contact me separately. I will give you a separate session to you. Today, I am actually going to discuss about the importance of Angular. In that Angular, especially, I want to speak about signals. Every company, every company started using signals now, especially from 2025. I have seen most of the companies are transforming their applications from regular normal variables into signals. So to understand these signals, we have to understand the application development process. Here, I would like to explain you with an example. Let me save this. 1 minute. I will show you all these things are needed. Just to show you, I have made some small application cart with okay, let it get updated. Yes, excellent. So now I would like to show you very simple activity that is called counter. So you definitely need a way to approach the problem. So here I have something called counter application. And if you see the application, it behaves like this. It looks like this. Simple application. I am not making any fuss in that. Suppose there should be a counter, and when you keep on clicking the increment button, the counter value should be incremented. This is the simple task. But how to approach, how to implement this work? Yes, of course, you can go and check it on the GPT, implement counter, that will give you the code and you show it. That is not the point. You never learn how to solve a particular problem with that process. Try to understand what is the problem and how to approach this problem. What is the point? So here you have to understand one point. There are two things, my dear friends. There are 2 points. First point is, here you have to understand the first point. In every application, there will be two things. First thing is state. That means your data. And second thing is action or behavior or action, behavior or logic. So these three are same: action, behavior or logic. So one is state, another one is action. And there is third one also, that is called as user interface. So whatever the code or whatever the work you get, first of all, you have to see that work in these three things. For example, my father always say that, better whatever the work you do, you have to think about two things. One is how much money we need on that and how much efforts we need. For example, I said, Papa, we should celebrate Chinnu's birthday, my brother's birthday. So I never asked to what do you say, celebrate my birthday because I want to celebrate outside, but I want my brother's birthday to be celebrated. What is the reason? Okay, the point is, he said the same word. Okay, very good, we will celebrate. But how much money we required, and the second thing is how much effort we required, and the third thing, where do you do that? So how much money you required? First of all, make a note on that. How much efforts? That means what are the work we have to do and what are the works others will do, and where do you celebrate? The same thing. Whatever you work. If you are having something like, I am hungry. I am hungry. Right? First thing, how much money you have. Second thing, where to go for the purchasal, and third thing, what do you eat? These are the three most important things. The same way, whether it is a to-do list application, whether it is an e-commerce application, whether it is a share market application, whether it is a banking application, whether it is a one more insurance application, retail application, bloody hell, whatever the application it may be. These are the three things needed. One is state, action, and UI. These are the only three things you have. What is the state? Money, the values, variables, values. What is the action? How to change those things? What is the UI? Where do you display that? So here also, these three are the point. What is the state here? The value, that is 8. For example, initially we have 0. After that, by clicking on it, the value is being changed. That is what called state, the value, that is the value. And then behavior. What is the behavior we have to implement? The value should be changed by clicking on a button. But that is not about the button. It is about the action. How do you increment the value? How do you decrement the value? And how do you display this entire work? Is your work. Okay. So how to make these things is your class today. So I am not going to limit the class with only counter. After counter, I will explain you a simple e-commerce application also. I will teach you and where the signals are actually playing the major role in bigger applications. Okay, so all these things I will be definitely discussing with you, how depth you are supposed to go, and what is the inspiration behind it, and what is the old way. First of all, let us see the old way. So here I will go back to I will do it from the scratch. Okay, please be patient. Here, 1 minute. Okay. Here I have a basic application, Angular application. Even you can install by an ng new and my app or something like that. Okay, this is the core command. If you really want from the scratch basic commands and all, just ping me on WhatsApp. I will give you my entire lecture on Angular installation and setup. Okay, especially those 19 version, 17 version, these are all not that easy. Earlier it was a different approach. Now it is a different approach. Just ping me. I have a video on that. I will share that video to you. First of all, already I have an application, plain simple application. So for your demo, I am creating a new branch demo. So here I had to create a component. Okay, first I will create NGGC counter. But the problem with this is you will be, if you already aware of Angular, it will be well and good. Otherwise, you will be confused. So I am just removing for now. Our primary goal for now is understanding state, action, and user interface. That's it. Let us not worry about what is component, all these things. So in this application, whatever the code we write, that is all in app component here. In the app component, for the user interface, I have a place called app component.html. This place is for UI, displaying the UI. And app component.ts is another file which is responsible for your maintenance of state. This part will be maintained by component TS file. This will be maintained by component HTML file, whatever it may be. Okay, whether it is a small work or big work, we will create it as a component. In that component, state and action will be maintained by TS file, and user interface will be maintained by HTML. So eventually, what is the work I need to do? I need to show some value, and when we click on a button, the value should be changed. So to maintain that value, in the old days, we used to create a variable, or here it is called property, like count is equal to 0. This is simple. I know this is very simple, and count is 0. We created here as state. We maintained as a state. And to change this particular counter value, because when we click on the increment button, we need to modify this count value, right? To modify this count value, we need a function. That function is defined as a method inside this class, and it will simply make this count, this dot count plus plus. So whenever you call this function, the count value will be incremented one by one next two, next three, like that. So here I have implemented the logic. So this is I have clearly mentioned that action. So whenever we perform the action, this will do this. This increment function will do that. So it is actually creating the behavior of the application. What is the behavior of the application? When we click on the button, it is modifying. That is what called behavior. And of course, this is the logic, right? Here inside this function only, we are writing the logic. So this is, for me, it is called action or behavior or logic, whatever it may be. So if somebody asks you, what do we do in the component TS file? You have to say that we will maintain the state and we will define the logic. You just say this answer and see the reaction from your interviewer. They will be pleased. Be clear on this point. Next, I want to show this value into the UI. So for that, I am creating a H1 with counter, and to display that particular value in the UI, I will be using a technique called interpolation. So these brackets are called as interpolation. Here, I will be using the count. So now, if you see the example, the count is displayed. The next thing is, in the UI, I need a button. Create the button in the HTML file as increment. So now the button is here. And now the UI should link with the logic. So when we click on it, we don't have on click here. We have click event handler. In Angular, the Angular itself defined a new event handler, that is click is equal to, I will call that function. It is just like HTML. So now if we click on the increment, the counter value will be maintained. So this application, how do you define a component? I define a component as state, action, and UI. This is a very special definition. Say this definition in your interview and ping me once you are successful. And if the interviewer don't like also, please ping me. I want to talk to that interviewer. Everyone speaks about component is a UI. UI. No, component is not just UI. Component is UI plus data plus logic. Of course, the business logic, we write it in the services. That's a secondary part. First of all, component is having these 3 points. Right, Andy. Now the point comes. Now the point is, this is all good, no? Why do we need signals? This is already doing your job, right? The count variable is happily changing its state. This function is happily changing the value. Of course, this UI is already showing the view. What is your problem? In the past, in the old days, before 17 and 16, Angular followed this zone.js for change detection. What do you mean by change detection? Did you observe what exactly the change is happening? When I click on the increment button, what is happening? automatically this inc function will be called, and the count value will be incremented. So that is fine. But this zone.js will observe if there is any change in the state, it will automatically update the UI. That is the job of zone.js. It is very important job. So when I click on this increment button, yes, the data will be changed. So as soon as the data changes, there will be one JS program which always search for updates. If there is any change in the data, that is what called change detection. If there is any change in the data, it has to update the UI. So for that updation, we depended on zone.js in the past. In the past, we depended on zone.js. Now Angular changed the change detection mechanism with signals. Nowadays, signals are improved with the change detection mechanism. So earlier it was having lot of cycles, lot of lot of observations. Wherever there is a variable used in the UI, that will be observed by zone.js in the separate memory. That was killing the memory like hell. That was taking lot of time to manage the data and modifying the UI. Okay, for that it was very big issue in the performance. After few days, yes, signals and IVY technique made signals with signals mechanism, they improved the performance in the change detection mechanism. Okay, so how that is going to be possible? So here I would like to create another component. So now I will create a component and I will maintain the values and all in the separate way. Should I do that, or let me try in a different way? I don't want to confuse you eventually. That's my point. Okay, I will create another counter variable with signals. Let us see this. Count2 is equal to signal of 0. So signal is a separate hook or function which should be imported from Angular core, and it is used for creating signal variables. Now count2 is not a normal variable. It is a signal based variable. To update the count2 or to update the signal based variables, you need a special methods like set or update or mutate. So for this demo session, I will be using set. Okay. So whenever there is increment 2, that means I want to increment counter 2, then I have to do something like this. This dot count2 dot set of this dot count2 of +1. So I will take the first count2 value and then I will add with 1 value. So this is here I maintained state. Here I am writing the logic. And now while you are using this state variables in the app component, let me have a HR, so that you will have a line. Here H2, let me take H1 counter 2. So if you have created the state in the counter variable, you have to use a different mechanism, count2. So you have to call that count2 as a function. We call it as value function. Okay, of course, you have to call it like a function. So now if you see, this is the second counter and the default value is, the initial value is 0. And when we can create increment button, when we click on the increment button, it should call a function here. So that function is inc2. Here I will be using this. When we click on it, I will call inc2. So when you click on this button, inc2 function will be called. That function will set the value to 2. So now when I click on increment, this is also performing the same task and this is also performing the same task. But very unfortunately, you must be feeling in the inner voice, in the inner side, that is, I think this is more complicated than just for your simplicity. I am changing this. Okay. I think this signal based system is little complicated. Why do I need signal method and all? Wait. This is where the whole point is. The updation of the UI will be more easy. I mean to say, not for the developer's perspective. Always developers will be in the problem. No question at all. Nobody develop in that whole world something for developer friendly. No way. Always developers will be the strugglers whenever the new technology comes or new technique comes. Yes, that is, I am facing from last 20 years, 21 years. Okay. So I have seen these all things. Whenever the new technology comes, developers have to be updated and it has to be used. No question. The companies will be taken it as granted. But now, for the perspective of client or the what is a cost or the performance, yes, these signals are improved too high. The loading and re-rendering the whole UI. The counter example is very small, my dear friends. Counter example is very small. Very small. I know that. But it improved the performance like anything. Okay. This IVI and signals mechanism actually updating the UI very fastly. Okay. Don't compare with counter examples when we go for adding some product into the cart, or else the best example for you is IRCTC website. So you need a very quick UI where when you click on the ticket from the front end side, there should not be any delay. And the update should be so fast, right? Of course, server also should be very fast, but yes, signals will perform that in very less time. For developers, yes, thoda sa problematic. This is little problematic. And now you understood how to use a signal in real time. Okay, for signals, we have a method called set to update the signal value. And we have, when we want to access the value of a signal based variable, we have to call the signal as a function. So this is what the difference between normal variables and signals. Okay, but this is not the end of the point. There is another method called signal.count2.update. In this method, you will be having a callback function. To this callback function, current count will be passed and you can return the current count plus 1. So whatever you have returned from this method, that will be updated in the counter. So here I will just say count plus 2. Okay, let's see. So now when I click on this, it is getting incremented by 2222 numbers. This is how you can implement the same thing with update method. In the update method, we have a separate callback function. So in that callback function, you can write some better logics. So whatever, if you want to have, for example, if the time is in between morning 6 o'clock to afternoon 12 o'clock, increment the counter by 4. Imagine after 6 o'clock to morning 5 o'clock, increment by 10. If you have some conditional, conditional updations, then you go with updates. No, sir, always I want to add one only, then go with set. Okay. So these are the two methods we have. Yes, there is another way also, that is called mutate, but that will come with arrays and object kind of updates. So signals are now giving you eventually what is the power? The power is speed in the UI updates. So earlier we were using zone based detection, change detection mechanism. Now you don't need to depend on it if you are using signals. This is the beauty of it. Now, what is the second most important? So first, so the first importance is manage state. Second important is also managing state, but that is communication between components. What is this? For this, earlier we used to have a very, very highly valued library called RxJS. But now we are replacing it with signals. Right? Complete RxJS is replaced with signals? Yes. Complete. Yes, complete. We are planning signals, signals. So few more extra functions and methods will come for the signals. By then, no RxJS at all. Even we already started using resource library. These all are actually helping Angular to avoid the RxJS. Now RxJS is just optional. Whatever the work you can do it with signals easily. Okay. So most of the places we are replacing those concepts with the signals. How does it happen? Yes. Shall we see the example? So this comes under, if you really want the code of this, I will send you the GitHub link. If you want, you can just ping me. So here I would like to commit as counter in demo. Okay. Counter in demo. So you can see that in the counter in demo branch of Edupoly 25 August, Angular 25 May. Okay, guys. So this is about basic introduction towards the signals. Now I would like to show you some serious issue, that is cart component. So here I would like to explain you. Yes, please. Thank you, sir. At last, how to use Git using VS Code demo, please. Ha, Suraj. Definitely. Yes, I will send you the demo link. No problem. Please ping me on WhatsApp. Huh? ओके सूरज, वो बहुत छोटा काम है. डेफिनेटली आई विल हेल्प यू. लेकिन मुझे और एक चीज दिखाना था. दैट इज, आई हैव नॉट सीन दिस एग्जांपल नोवेयर इन द internet. No, I mean not in the complete internet. Maybe most of the people in the YouTube are showing signals in a very basic level. They are not exploring complete way. So let me give you that also. Yes. Angular. We are discussing about Angular. Savalia. Yeah. I have taken a demo on ReactJS in the last week. Definitely, we will send you that as well. Okay. Next week, we can discuss on ReactJS if you want. I'm fine with that. Let me explain you what is the serious use case of signals. So ये आंसर बताओ इंटरनेट में, इंटरव्यू में, वो शॉक हो जाएगा. डेफिनेटली यू गेट सरप्राइज्ड. ऐसे थंबनेल लगा दूं? नहीं तो चलो. So here I have an application where this application show simple products. Please don't mind. So these are all the products. What do we have? When we click on add to cart, this cart will be added. These products will be added into the cart. So right now I have only one item. Okay, I will show you the complete picture. So for that, to maintain this data, to perform the add to cart, to display that add to cart values, total number of products in the cart in the header, we were using subjects, behavior subjects, replace. There are so many keywords. event handlers, there are event emitters. There are so many things we have done in the past. But now with the signals, you don't need those all concept at all. Very, very, very light and simple हो गया अभी. Now it becomes so simple. चलो देखते हैं. So here I have created a cart service. In that cart service, I have created a cart signal. In that signal, I have given an empty array. That's it. Whenever I click on add to cart, I will call this function called add product to cart. This will simply update the cart by using update function of the signal. So just now we have seen counter update is also there, right? Just like that, we can directly update the cart by using signal update method. The beauty is it is not only updating this cart, it will also inform the cart component. In the cart component, if you have the cart component, it can also take the latest cart length. Okay, if you are not really satisfied with my answer, I will show you. For example, here, let me open my Amazon. I don't know I have anything in the Amazon or not. अच्छा कुछ नहीं है इधर. चलो आईफोन खरीद लेते हैं. मेरे पास तो है ही नहीं है. ये बहुत छोटा है, इनसे नहीं. Shall we go with bigger one? iPhone 16 Pro Max. चलो ये खरीद लेंगे. How much cost? 1,35,000. भाई नहीं है मेरे पास. Don't worry. Yes, चलो. So here I just click on add to cart. Can you see this? Add to cart now. हाँ देखो देखो. चलो अभी विंडो शॉपिंग ही तो कर रहा है, तो ये सब ऐड करेंगे इसमें. क्या बात है. So now these are all products are added, and if you see in the cart you have 3 products. Can you see this? As soon as I have added, it should be updating in the cart as add to cart, right? So this is what we have to implement. Is it really possible? 100%. Chalo, how do we do this? So here I am in the cart component. Here I am in the header component. That means navbar component. I am talking about I want something in the navbar component here. So in that I have to get that value. So for that I will subscribe the service in the constructor with public cart service. That's it. If you have subscribed, the signal will automatically update this component. So now here I will have something like in this I will have something called cs dot. Okay, wait. cs dot, what is the method? cs dot cart dot length. So here you have to call the function. Okay, cs dot cart of length. Oh, see this. Here I have given the name as lowercase cs. So obviously here I have to give lowercase cs. Sir, in the training, I will explain every bloody step of each and every point. But here I just want to show you the simplicity. Here I got the number. When I click on add to cart, can you see the change, immediate change here? To implement the same simple thing, we had to do lot of circles. RxJS behavior subject, because behavior subject is needed for initial values. After that, you had to say something called next, emit. There are so many functions you have to call to make a simple work. But now you don't need it. You have everything here. Even for updation or getting the data, it has become so simple with signals. Yes, definitely RxJS is a very powerful tool. Okay, if you are really interested in game design or animations or some sort of infinite scrolling or in calling multiple APIs at a time, there are so many use cases where you have to still use RxJS. That is not completely avoidable. I will definitely teach you that RxJS also. But yes, if you have a very simple work to do, why should you learn all those things? Okay, so this is how the signals are very powerful. So right now, we don't have time to extend this session for more. We have input signals, we have output signals, which changed the whole dimension of the UI. I will share my Angular 19, I think 19 version or 18 version complete video with you all. In that, I have explained all these things. Okay, definitely UI. Now we are actually, there is a question, sir. UI UX per meeting, that means demo session conduct karo. Yes, definitely. UX is also very important, but this is comes under UI. If you are really interested in UX, let me know. I will arrange that topics also. Okay, both the things should be there with you. Okay. So in my sessions, every topic will be discussed in detail in this fashion, and reasoning, everything with reasoning. I will do lot of examples. I'll just tell you, nowadays we are having something on. Definitely, I will share it. You please don't believe me. Just believe in my code. This is my github.com/edupoly. These are all my repositories. How frequently I update my code, how frequently I push the data, you just see this. And how many projects I have done in this. And for every project I have implemented here, for the whatever the data is. And also you can see my sincere work on this, that is Edupoly .co content. I will share this also. So here you can see my Angular work with all assignments, mini projects, what level of content I will be giving you with notes, along with the notes. Yes, if you really want to have it freely, please feel free. एटलीस्ट कम से कम एक लाइक तो बनता है ना दोस्त. ठीक है, एक फॉलो करो, एक अच्छा लाइक दे दो, और समवन हु रियली वांट टू लर्न फ्रॉम द स्क्रैच, उनको बता दो कि हाँ ये ठीक है, आप यहाँ से सीख सकते हैं, एक बार रेफरेंस दे दो, मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. लेकिन देख लो एक बार, दिस आर ऑल अवेलेबल. इसमें हर एक चीज में आई हैव गिवन सेपरेट सेपरेट प्रोजेक्ट्स and lot of projects. You just see angular projects.docx. So if you really see these projects, you can actually learn lot of things. But if you are learning from the scratch, don't learn from uh, YouTube or anything, because you don't get a roadmap. Proper roadmap, proper understanding will not be there. Depth नहीं मिलेगा. थोड़ा इधर थोड़ा उधर, एकदम टुकड़े टुकड़े पीसेस में रहेगा वो सब अंडरस्टैंडिंग. सो डेफिनेटली आई थिंक यू नीड ए प्रॉपर गाइडेंस, प्रॉपर रोड मैप, एंड प्रॉपर थॉट प्रोसेस. whenever you get a problem statement, how to approach that problem statement. And the most important point, in every day I focus on how to tell the answer in the interview. So जो भी टॉपिक में, whatever the topic is, whatever the topic and concept I teach in that day, on that topic, whatever the questions possible, I will teach all the possible questions, and I will make you to speak. I try my best. अगर आप एकदम स्ट्रिक्ट है तो मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता हूँ. इफ यू రియలీ వాంట్ టు స్పీక్ ఇన్ దట్ క్లాస్, ఐ విల్ డెఫినెట్లీ యూజ్ ఇట్. మీరు ఆ రోజు మాట్లాడాలి అని మీకు అనిపిస్తే తప్పకుండా మాట్లాడండి. ఐ విల్ మేక్ ష్యూర్ you will speak and you will answer, and I will correct your mistakes in the answering questions, so that your interview will become very good. In the very first round you will start getting that impression. Yes, ये लगेगा, ये job पक्का लगेगा मुझे. This is what my assistance for you. Angular jobs are too many, React jobs are too many. We are not finding the right candidates. That is the only problem I have. So, even every day, our interview questions discussion will happen on everyday basis. And every day, you will be getting assignments as well as mini projects. In the class, also, I will ensure I will do the project and I will show you how to do it. And that is what expected you to do also. Once you got the practice, once you got the practice on interview questions, once you got the practice on real-time problem solving things, no way to escape from the interview. I bet 95% of the questions will come from my classes. I will start from the TypeScript, completely from the TypeScript. After that, I will go with Angular. And those people who are really interested in React, please let me know. I will start with JavaScript and React, of course, even JavaScript and as well as TypeScript. Even if you guys don't know, if any of you guys don't know anything about JavaScript, please let me know. We will have a separate sessions for that as well. Okay, we will call you back. Whoever have come today will call you back. Please attend. If you have any doubt, I want to give you my number also. That is 9561214818. This is the number. You can contact on this number. Ping me if you are new to the demo class. I'm open and ready. Okay. So today we just understood what are signals, what is state, action, and UI. So imagine this, it will help you in most of the questions. If you have any doubts, you can contact me on this number. I'm ready to help you out. Okay. Please refer your friends. We will have a very rock solid course this time. Yes. I will share that. Yeah, please call me. Yes, please. Whatever you want, you just give me your call. I'm ready to solve your problems. Okay. We will share the course content. We'll share the demo video also, as well as material. All these information we will give you. Join our sessions and enjoy coding with Angular and React. Any queries from your side? I'm very glad of seeing you all. నేను ఈరోజు అసలు తెలుగులో మాట్లాడడం కుదరలేదు బికాస్ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద పీపుల్ ఆర్ ఫ్రమ్ నార్త్. సో డెఫినెట్లీ నార్త్ ఆర్ సమ్వేర్ ఆర్ ద అదర్ ప్లేసెస్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా ఆర్ అదర్ ప్లేసెస్ ఆఫ్ అదర్ వాట్ ఈస్ ఏ outsiders also must be there. Thank you so much for attending the class, and I am open for your doubts clarification. Please go ahead.
Hi sir, good afternoon.
Yes, Shivakant.
శివకాంత్ సార్
చెప్పండి.
సార్ మీ యూట్యూబ్లో రియాక్ట్ చేస్తూ మీద నేను జాబ్స్ చదువుదాం అనుకుంటున్నా సార్. మీ యూట్యూబ్లో మీ ఇంటర్వ్యూ వీడియోస్ చూస్తే చాలా బాగా అనిపిస్తుంది సార్. బట్ నాకేంటంటే ప్రాబ్లం, నేను ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్రాక్ చేయలేకపోయాను సార్ రియాక్ట్ చేసి మీద. నేను కూడా ఇలా బయట వేరే సమ్ బ్రో దగ్గర నేర్చుకున్నాను రియాక్ట్ విత్ జావా ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ జావా స్క్రిప్ట్. బట్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ అయితే క్రాక్ చేయలేకపోతున్నాను సార్. మెనీ టైమ్స్ అటెండ్ అవుతున్నా కానీ బట్ చేయలేకపోతున్నాను. ఎందుకంటే మీ వీడియో చూసినాక నాకు కొంచెం అనిపిస్తుంది సార్ కొంచెం డిఫరెంట్గా చెప్తున్నారు, ఒకసారి ట్రై చేద్దామని.
డెఫినెట్లీ మీ ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే డెప్త్ అండి. రియాక్ట్లో చాలా డెప్త్ కావాలి. వీ నీడ్ ఇన్ డెప్త్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఆన్ రియాక్ట్, ఎస్పెషలీ ఇన్ దిస్ AI days. Okay. And
Okay.
problem solving abilities. You have to give the confidence to the interviewer that if I give you a problem, you will give the solution in no time. Okay.
Yes.
So for that, you need a lot of practice. I just want to share what level of practice we will do and we need to do. I'll tell you,
Okay.
I'll show you this. For example, not only in the React, the same way in the Angular also, we have lot of questions for the practice. For assignments, they will start with, of course, HTML, CSS assignments are also there. Only in the statements and loops, you have these many questions to be solved for solutions.
Okay,
Only
sir.
if you do these all problems and explain these problems. First of all, it is not only about the solving the problem. You have to explain the problem, and you
Okay,
have to
sir.
explain how the code is working. So here we are conducting the discussion sessions also. In the class, I will ask you for the explanation so that I can correct you. ఇప్పుడు క్లాస్లో ఏం జరుగుతుంది, I will ask the question. While you are telling me the answer, I will correct you where what thing should be come first. I'll
Okay,
give you
sir.
the example. What is an even number? చెప్పండి, what is a even number?
Even number is 246.
That is the mistake you do. That is the mistake you do. 02468 ఎండింగ్ లో ఉంటే ఈవెన్ నెంబర్ అనేది అందరికి తెలుసు, కరెక్టే. కానీ దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ గుడ్ ఇనఫ్ ఫర్ లాజిక్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఇన్ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్. For programming, there is a different answer needed. The different answer is when we divide the number with 2, if you get the remainder as 0, then such numbers are called even numbers. You are supposed to answer this way.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Atla prati concept lo, in every concept you have something. For example, what is a JavaScript? What is the JavaScript?
JavaScript is open source library, is client side server.
Okay, that is not enough. That is what I am saying. Client side server ఏంటండి, అట్లా కాదు. ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ జావాస్క్రిప్ట్ ఈజ్ ఎ లాంగ్వేజ్, అలా చెప్పినా ఓకే. కానీ బట్ బియాండ్ దట్ వర్డ్, జావాస్క్రిప్ట్ ఈజ్ ఎ లాంగ్వేజ్, బియాండ్ దట్ వర్డ్ యు ఆర్ సపోజ్ టు టెల్ దట్ జావాస్క్రిప్ట్ ఈజ్ the logic in the HTML or web page. JavaScript is for generating the UI. JavaScript is a programming language with asynchronous activity. JavaScript is the programming language for event handling. So నువ్వు ఎప్పుడైతే ఈ మాటలు మాట్లాడతావో, when you say these all answers in the interview, they will get the confidence. By just speaking puta small things doesn't give you the full solution. Come down. Every day you have to speak in the stand up. After completion of the class, we will give you 1 hour only for your speaking. Okay, sir. Yes, in that time you will be improved. You will be improving your answers. Okay, so that such kind of training will also be provided here in the class.
Okay, sir. How much is fee, sir?
Yeah, if you are coming on, it is 15. If it is offline, it is 20. Okay, you please call me. Okay,
online.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hi, sir. How are you doing?
Yeah. Sure. Yes, who is anybody else? Somebody?
Hi, sir. This is Raja. How are you doing?
Yes, I am doing good, Andy. How are you, Raja?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, sorry guys, sorry for interrupting you. I'm very old student of Praveen sir. Like almost like I think 7 years until now. I'm still in touch with him. Because of him, right now I was working as a solution architect in one of the reputed organization. I was core with the backend, like not with the front end, but backend. Whenever there is any new concepts in front end, the first person I approach is Praveen sir. Today I got a message in my WhatsApp. I simply joined the course because I want to learn something about this signal. Yeah.
Thank you, Raja. Definitely, I don't waste anybody's time. Even in the demo, you should learn something.
Yes.
Even if somebody is already aware of it, they should at least get 1 point out of 10 or 20 minutes. Okay, I hope Raja also got something today. Yes.
Yeah, it's nothing else, sir. You know about our experience, guys, right? Because we simply go to ChatGPT, copy it, and paste it, but we never understand the code.
Yes.
Just I wanted to learn the class. Thank you for the section, sir.
Thank you, Raja. Thank you so much for coming and joining. Okay, guys. See you in the next class.